Hey there, welcome to day 1038 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar real world of business in corporate America to the online world. 2017 had the opportunity following my divorce to do something different. Had to divest myself of all my previous brick and mortar real world businesses, and I guess I was old enough to not want to go back to corporate America or not get a job or start a real world business. But I was also not old enough that I was done and I still had energy, so I wanted to figure out, well, what can I do? I'd always been curious about the internet and the online world, the World Wide Web. And so I finally found myself with the time and the energy both to devote to figuring it out. So I hopped online and probably made every mistake and continue to make mistakes in the book, or the ones that are not in the book, because I pride myself in being able to even learn and model and not make other mistakes, make the same mistakes other people had. But I'm also very creative and good at coming up with my own ways of screwing things up, which is funny, but that's how we learn. I honestly believe in this day and age, and now finally at this age, that I always learn more from taking action and figuring out what's working, building on that, and letting go of the part of that that does not work. Making mistakes, to me, there isn't really any failure unless I quit. If I quit doing something, and I can, it's not necessarily a failure. If I choose not to do something anymore, that's not a failure. I just choose not to do it anymore. I chose not to be married to my husband anymore. And for a long time, I thought of that as a failure, a failed marriage. And I'm like, no, it's not a failure. I moved away from something that was no longer good for me or no longer right for me. And that's not a failure. That's actually a success, because one of the hardest things we do is step away from things that we're well ingrained in and that we've got into the habit of doing that aren't giving us the result that we want. Isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result? Absolutely, positively. And sometimes we need to step out of our own insanity to move forward. So today, Get Up and Go Challenge 5, our fifth and final challenge, started today. We'll do it from now till the end of the year. Every day we'll have a bite-sized piece of Get Up and Go Challenge, how we handle and deal with changes and challenges to guarantee that we're always better off afterwards. And it's a process. This will be the fifth time that I've done it during COVID-19, because it's my way of sharing and giving back something that has very powerfully helped me to continue to move forward in my life, no matter what the challenge, no matter what the event that has happened. A sudden cardiac arrest in 2010 and dropped dead. That's pretty much a dead stop, literally, and had to come back from that and figure out everything, my life and everything, and how it was going to move forward. And COVID-19 is a challenge for a lot of people, but I guess after that, COVID-19 is a piece of cake, so it's all relative. And today in the challenge, in this one, it was just a welcome and what to expect. My daughter's expecting a child in February, and so the what to expect when you're expecting book always pops into my mind whenever I see somebody that's pregnant, because that was like the only book available when I had my kids. Now there were others, but that was the go-to book. And now, of course, there's so many resources for people that are expecting a baby. There's everything online. There's Google, there's the internet, there's books, there's apps, there's all different things, and a ton of information to help people to know what to expect when they're expecting. But back then we had like the one book. Plus I was busy working in corporate America, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to read and study up on it anyway. That was back in the day when we pretty much just listened to our doctors and trusted what they said and did. And as we move forward in the future, not necessarily the best advice. I learned that firsthand, but I didn't apply it when I was having kids. I don't know why. So Get Up and Go Challenge today was just about how many challenges have you faced in your life, and what kind of challenges, and it's an open-ended question intentionally to get people thinking about all of the challenges they've actually overcome. So often when we're faced with something like COVID-19 or a new challenge or a health challenge or a diagnosis, we freak out and we think, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? I've never really dealt with anything like this before. But if we look back at our past experiences, chances are we have different experiences that we can pull from that will help us get through this one too. Very little happens to me nowadays that I don't have some type of frame of reference that I can go back and I can say, okay, yeah, this looks like a brand new challenge, a brand new change, but guess what? It's really like this, and this, or this piece of one experience, this piece of another, and this piece of another. And so there's really only this teeny tiny bit that I've never actually experienced before. So guess what? That really increases my confidence in my ability to figure this out and get through this challenge or this change too. So Get Up and Go Challenge 5. I'm excited about this one. This is kind of the culmination in the other 4. It's kind of, what did I learn from each of the other 4? Because when I do my challenges, I go through them too. And then I learn what worked, what didn't work, what do we want to change around, what doesn't make sense, what sticks, what doesn't stick. Do I need more explanation? Do I need more stories? Do I need a different tool? What works best here? What will happen with Get Up and Go Challenge next year? I don't know. I don't know what next year's going to bring yet. I haven't decided, but I do know that it's important to finish 2020 strong because it's been such a crazy year for so many. So Get Up and Go Challenge. Excited to be starting the final one. I'm looking at my piles of notebooks. They're like this high from the challenges this year, and it's fun to do because I always, like, this was my October book for the October challenge and my homework book. I actually gave myself stickers, but then I couldn't find the other stickers. I ran out about day 24 and I stopped giving myself stickers, but I did the entire challenge and all the homework because I want to learn and grow and continuously improve with respect to doing the challenges, just like the people that participate. And this is my December 5th Get Up and Go Challenge book. I like this. I got it as a gift from my sister last Christmas. And I'm like, oh, I haven't used that. I'm going to use that beautiful journal to finish off 2020. And I'll probably use this same journal to map out and write and decide on my overall primary objectives for 2021. Like I said, I haven't thought about 2021 yet. I'm still living 2020. And so I like to try to stay a little bit in the present moment. It's hard, but I try to stay in the present moment as much as possible. So fun challenge today was about whether you think you can or think you can't, by Virgil originally, but I think the version from Henry Ford is probably the one I remember the most and have been exposed to the most. Whether you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. At least that's how I remember it. And maybe I've rewritten it. It's probably not the exact words that he used, but I like it. And then for Supersize Your Business, our idiom today was actions speak louder than words. And this is a huge and very important idiom for each and every one of us. And it's so important that we remember in certain situations that our actions do speak louder than our words. Think of parenting. Have you ever tried to tell your kids to do something and then you're, being a hypocrite and doing just the opposite? We're seeing that in our handling of COVID in many areas. Our leaders and people that are making these rules and guidelines for their populations are not following those, and they're getting caught in very public ways and exposed for, I guess, the liars that they are or the hypocrites that they are. And it's really hard to follow a leader who says, do as I say because I know what's better for you than you do. Super duper offensive. So I'm glad that people are getting caught in their hypocrisy and held accountable and having to answer for it, because all of us do. All of us normal people, all of us regular Americans could never get away with a lot of the stuff, which is literally illegal and criminal, that a lot of our political leaders do. So we would never even attempt to commit fraud. We'd all be in prison. We'd be in prison if we even committed any type of fraud or corruption or, gambling or illegal behavior or insider trading. We'd all be like Martha Stewart. We'd be thrown in to be made an example of. I think we need to start making examples of some of these people that have gotten away with stuff for decades and hold them accountable. Anyway, just my opinion. So actions speak louder than words, super duper important. And it's really actually easy to guarantee that happens. Number one, be super duper honest with yourself about what you believe in and what you want. And number two, focus on the big stuff. Get committed to the big things, your core values, the things that are really important to you in your life, and live in alignment with those. And then you're not just speaking about them, you're actually doing and moving toward them. So that's it. I've got some projects going on that I'm working on, and I'm going to go work on those. I've got the Get Up and Go Challenge. And I said during this challenge, I would create and do the preliminary work and the framework and the steps for the Get Up and Go Summit. We're going to do a challenge summit. I guess it's a challenge summit. I don't think it's going to be called maybe it'll be Get Up and Go. I don't know. I'll have to run it by and see what the people that are going to participate in it want to do. But we're going to do a summit early 2021. I guess I do know something I'm going to do in 2021. We're going to do a challenge summit early in 2021. And that should be fun. But I did say that I would map it out and plan it throughout this 30-day challenge. So guess what? I got some work to do with that project as well. Any questions? If you just have a question and you don't know who to ask, I always say just ask me, because I have learned I hate asking for help, right? I hate it. Always have hated asking for help. I feel like I should be able to figure it all out myself, be independent and whatever. But I'm learning to ask for help. And every time I've gotten frustrated enough or struggled with something long enough to ask for help, as soon as I ask the question or ask somebody, the answer immediately appears to me. And so I want to encourage you to use me as that resource and that person to just ask the question. I might not know the answer, but I'm pretty positive I can help you find the person, place, thing, resource that will help you to get the answer that you need. I'm 100% confident I can do that. That's it. That's all I've got today. Go out, have an absolutely fun and amazing day, and I will be with you tomorrow to let you know what you're up to now. Have a great day.